Mhm.
Oh, hush. Of course, the dogs start barking. Also, I'm on Starlink, so if I ever freeze, just keep going.
Oh yeah, let me make sure let me switch this to,
Sure.
okay, I'm on my better
Awesome.
internet now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good. Sure, this one's everything is recording. Fantastic. We're ready to roll. Yay! So
Right.
I'm so excited to have you on this. I've been like waiting for. I'm like, we had the so this is great.
Yes.
Welcome to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Guys, we're meeting Lindsay Coward. I'm like, wait, yeah, Lindsay Coward. You had a middle name in there. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, Lindsay Coward, also known as the
Lindsay Coward's
Yoga
good.
Nut. That's great. She's the Yoga Nut.
Hmm.
She's just over the mountain that away in Asheville, North Carolina. So we were just catching up, going, "Are you all right after the hurricane? You okay?" We're both nursing colds, so just we'll have our simultaneous sip, as a friend of mine says, and we'll just keep hydrating throughout. And that's a good example, right? So, um,
Great.
anybody's here, you guys feel free to put questions in as they come to you. Put it in the chat and Facebook, and I'll mention them, and we'll see what this is going to
Yeah,
be.
that's
So
great.
so exciting. Yay. All right, so I can't remember where we connected, but I'm so glad we did. Do you happen to remember?
I believe through Alignable.
Oh, yes.
Okay, is that right?
That's right. You're so
Okay.
right. Oh my gosh. Which is a crazy, crazy platform. I'm like, this thing
Yeah,
is nuts, but
it's still kind of a newer platform that I've been on, but yeah, I've met a couple of really interesting folks, so this is a good connection.
that's awesome. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's all right. So
Hmm.
I want to start with would you kind of introduce yourself, talk about um, the people you serve? And I would love
Hmm.
if you have insight as well into the problem that you help solve with them.
Hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you, Sue. Thanks so much for having me today. It's really great to go live with you and Facebook. As you mentioned, my name is Lindsay Coward. I have a master's in public health. So, like educationally, I'm also a certified yoga instructor with a background in psychology. So, I've always been interested in like that mind body connection. However, upon graduating from college, I went into the corporate world. Yay! It
Yay!
wasn't yay. I got paid well, but it was a very negative environment for me. I felt very isolated, unsupported, overworked, underappreciated. Kind of those like key things that come with corporate at times and are can be pretty normal for that type of environment. And I was just really unhappy. And so I leaned into a yoga practice that I had remembered from studying as a college athlete. I started practicing yoga at college, and just found that it helped me stay more focused and just show up better as an athlete and as a student. So that kind of just like came back to me when I was in the corporate sector. And so I restarted my yoga practice at a small studio where I lived at the time and found that I started showing up to work from a better perspective, um, just more focused, I'll say less unhappy in a place where I was like filling my cup. And so I was able to show up from a better space. And that experience was really just like, ah, if I can practice breathing and moving my body and meditating in ways that serve me and show up to work from a better place, what if a whole office had access to breathing practices, to, ways to move your body, to wellness activities that could help them be more focused, feel more productive, feel more involved in the workday versus just like, doing all your to-dos. So that's really where the seed was planted for me of wanting to bring mindfulness, yoga, meditation to the So long story short, I went back to school, I studied public health. I have a master's now in public health with an emphasis on stress management in the workplace. I became a certified yoga instructor and started teaching yoga in workplaces and community centers, and really switched my career over to wellness, and managed two different wellness companies before thinking, what's next? Start your own business.
Of course.
um, so here I am as an entrepreneur now. I founded Yoga Nut. I started it in 2016 as a way to bring yoga and a meditation to the workplace. And then I revamped it, as you will, like really incorporated it as an LLC in 2021 as a full worksite wellness company. So we provide yoga services, meditation services, and team development workshops within those wellness um, wellness like worksite wellness programs. Sorry, that was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So who do I serve? I serve the business community, anywhere from an entrepreneurial group to a business or organization where I can focus on everyone or just like a management team. And what am I doing for them? I ultimately am helping with retention, with team connection, and with productivity, that focus and clarity. What am I doing? I am providing stress resiliency tools, and building team connection through shared experiences.
That is so cool. I love, like, all right, so most people get into yoga and it's like for them,
Mhm.
whatever, or maybe they aspire, hey, I want to be a yoga teacher. This is so cool. I want to help people with that. But I love how your brain went to like corporate kind of stunk. Like I can make it better, right?
Yes,
You know? And then,
yes.
and that is so cool. And then you created a whole business to be able to deliver this.
Hmm.
And then went through, all the you jumped a lot of hoops to be able to get there. I mean, getting a whole master's degree and getting the certification, all the things that like a business is going to probably want to see this kind of stuff. And, these letters and the credentials and stuff. And you did all that. That's amazing. That's
Thank
really
you.
cool. So do you
Thank you.
serve that's amazing. So are all your clients local to you or can you do it online or how are you
Hmm.
doing this?
Yeah, so working with me or with Yoga Nut, my company looks different for each company, so to speak. So we do serve local. We serve companies that want a wellness program. So we would be coming into like their office space or their workspace, et cetera, as often as once a week. We also serve local and beyond through our live stream services. So everything that we offer is also available live stream. So currently we work with some conferences every year where we stream a yoga class directly to their site. So some of their folks are in person at the conference center. Some of them are virtual. So it's kind of like a hybrid situation since COVID. But yeah, we do anything from a full service program to a one-time stress management workshop or one-time meditation class for a conference, for an all-staff meeting, for, a retreat. So yeah, everything is if it's so most of our in-person activities are more localized. They can travel within a couple hours radius. But I'd say a lot of companies also come to Western North Carolina for their like end of year retreats or you know, their January kickoffs, et cetera. So we serve locally to companies and organizations that are on site,
That's
at
so
hotels
smart.
and such. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of event based as well. It's a fun aspect to
That's so cool. My brain
it.
is going to all the different marketing channels here because it's like, oh
Yeah,
my
great.
gosh. So like, whoa, like this is crazy. So event planners, I'm sure, like, I've been on teams that are planning a live event and they usually want to
Hmm.
have like, here's the things we're doing, but you also want to have like goodies, right? Like really
Yes.
nice experiences that upgrade this thing. And okay, well, who
Yes.
are we going to find? Who can come out here? Who's done this before?
Yes.
Right? Like,
Definitely, definitely. That's
oh,
all. I love all that stuff. And I like for meetings and things, just having a shorter, like a break, kind of like a brain break or a body break where you get
yes.
up and you move for like 10 minutes or you do some sort of breathing exercise for like 5 to 20 minutes, whatever. And it really like helps hone back in. So a lot of times when we're in a workshop space, you can only take in
Oh,
so much before you need to move your body or breathe differently or just move out of the space to be able to refocus again and like encourage that mental clarity and productivity. So
so true. I had a mentor once in college who said, the mind can only absorb what the tush can endure. Like,
yes,
so
100%. Yes.
that is so cool. I mean, and once we've had like that kinetic anything going on, it's like
hmm
we just recharge. And now we're like it wrung out the sponge. Now you can absorb a little bit more. And oh, that's so
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
All right. And then I'm thinking too, all right, because you're a local thing, then you have all the things of like being able to get on, in the Google 3 pack, where like, so somebody puts in corporate yoga or corporate, some keyword, right?
hmm
That you would be found for. And then Google will deliver like the top, well, it'll do as many people as have businesses through the Google profile, but the top three, and it decides like what the top three. It's not all, it's like
mm
weird things. So it's things like your reviews, how complete is your profile, is it consistent? Stupid things like street and st period are different, which is so weird. So all those
Weird.
citations, yeah, all those citations have to be like uniform. You've got regular, reviews coming in, they're being replied to. Your Google profile has stuff like you're updating it with, your hours. I mean, all the fact stuff, but then also you're
hmm
adding content to it, and here's pictures, here's all that kind of stuff, and then yeah, those are the main things. So, and then so if they're like one of the top three companies in that niche, as far as doing the things that Google wants to see, they'll put you in the 3 pack, which means you're one of those
mm
three that come up first. And everybody goes to them. Very few people scroll through to like, you're never going to see number seven. Like,
Right.
God forbid, the one who's on page 7 of this, right?
Ah.
It's not normal Google. It's like the big, but I've heard of companies getting, it depends on the niche and all this, but like I used to work with a lot of HVAC companies. And if they were in that top
Mm-hmm.
three, they're probably getting about 212, um, or if it's a bigger market, as many as 2,000 calls per month, totally for
Mm.
free. They didn't pay a cent. It's coming in like I've seen it break a business. Like if it was like
I'm
high demand, it's
sure. Yeah.
crazy. But you have that
Yeah.
benefit, which is amazing to have. Like for most businesses, you're really a hybrid, which is so cool. You've got the
hmm
local, and then you've got the online stuff. That's
hmm
that's amazing. And then do you get on a lot of podcasts and stuff to kind
I
of
do. Yeah. I'm on a few podcasts a year. Just, yeah, they're fun. It's a great, way to reach new folks and just kind of share the story of Yoga Nut and meet people. So it's really fun.
That's
I
awesome. And that
enjoy
it's a
podcasts.
great, yeah, it's a great, great way that you can, expand your reach for sure. And
hmm
that's so cool. We just had a call this morning at 10 about podcast called the podcasting party, and showing like, all right, here's the
Awesome.
benefits. Here's some
Uh-huh.
bots I created that can help you do it, and it's like it's so amazing. But it's such a great opportunity to get out and um obviously there's that greater exposure. There's, potentially meeting people that are going to hire you, getting in front of those audiences, but also getting the practice of speaking about your vision, which is
hmm
huge. So I don't know about you.
hmm
I'm like introvert. It can be very hard for me to sometimes speak things. So I'm getting better, but with
Yes.
practice, right? We get better and better at it. But that
Yes.
is so cool. What has been
And I
like
feel like
your, oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, as an entrepreneur too, like a lot of people in this group can probably feel this. It's like usually you either lean towards speaking or you lean towards writing. And so it's trying to make sure they both are integrated, but that they match,
Yes.
and that those keywords are in your speech and in your writing. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, yeah, you're definitely on something with that.
Oh yeah. And it's a growing process because it's like you refine
Hmm.
it, and then
Right.
you change, like you develop a new offering and it's like, oh, now I gotta need to
Hmm.
talk about this now
Hmm.
too. And it's
For sure. And our
oh
companies
my,
evolve. We're always evolving as entrepreneurs, and it
yeah,
evolves our companies as well. So,
for
yeah,
sure.
what were
Oh
you
my
going to
gosh.
ask though?
I was gonna ask you, like, how else, like, what's been the best way for you to find clients?
Locally, so Asheville is a very close-knit community, so networking, like in-person networking is huge here.
Yeah.
I'm a part of the Asheville Area Chamber, so I'm a part of one of their networking groups, and I like to attend ribbon cuttings and events that are held by the chamber to meet other businesses, from small to large. I've served companies and organizations of all sizes, so really you just like connecting with the local business community. And then honestly, Google has been my best friend when it comes to companies outside of the area that are coming to Asheville and looking for like a corporate yoga experience or looking for a team development workshop for they're planning an event, they're planning a weekend, whatever, and they're searching for those types of services. They find me online, so that's
That's
awesome.
so cool. So just from your content then, or is it through,
Yes,
it's
I
okay,
think
like,
through Google, yeah, mostly through Google search, whether it's
yeah.
like imageries or keywords, maybe a blog. I don't know where everything comes from, honestly. Some of them could be coming from podcasts or even social media.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
but
great.
I think
That's
most of them
so
are
great.
direct Google like search. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really exciting then when that starts to work. So,
Hmm.
it starts to eliminate the need to run for, pay for ads, which is so
Hmm.
nice.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I always used to say, like, with content, I'm like, content takes longer, like for SEO, for
Yes.
search, it takes longer, but you own it. Like, when you're doing ads, it can be very effective if you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing, like rather than trying
Hmm.
to do it yourself, or it's a steep learning curve. But once you
Yeah.
turn your ads off or you get tired of paying them, all of it gone. So,
Right, right,
so
right.
it's that's so cool that you've built that
Yeah.
out and that's working. And oh my
And
gosh.
I think, yeah, within that networking, you mentioned event planners. That's actually an outlet that I started connecting more in towards the end of this year before the hurricane kind of like disrupted life and work.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah, so I'm open. I want to like connect with more event planners. I've also
Yeah.
reached out to a lot of hotels and retreat centers within
Yeah.
the surrounding area just to collaborate, meet them and
That
see
is
how we
so
can work
great.
together and partner. I love partnerships and collaborations. I'm always
Isn't it
open
the
to those types
best?
of conversations.
Yeah, that's the best. And it's like like you build this relationship and then you're both, like both helping each other succeed. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
doing business with friends, which is the best thing.
Exactly. Everyone wins.
It does. It does. It's so cool. And so, guys, I'm building the retreat center here. That's why I reached out to Lindsay at first. I was like, well, I
Mm-hmm.
know we're going to want to have, yoga events. We've got this beautiful part of, all right. So we have 35 acres currently. We're possibly
Ah,
selling 6. So that's across the street, but
okay.
that won't change any of this. So we've got this beautiful creek and then a pasture, and
Mm.
then it goes into the hills. And we've got these 2 ridges, and they both have flat spaces on top. And one of them, I'm like, oh, the view is pretty. It's not like so South Greene County is drop dead gorgeous. This is gorgeous, not drop dead, but and so we want to build like a big platform there that can be
Hmm.
3 season, potentially 4, if we throw in some of those nice heater thingies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then and have that where and it'll be covered, and then like I'm envisioning like you can have 100 people doing yoga like
Love
like
it.
plenty of room, and just having that, I thought this would be such a cool addition, or even like
Yes.
just a yoga retreat, like business retreats, yoga retreat, like so
Hmm.
we want you to do that.
Yeah,
We'll
I
build
would
you a
love
dome. You can
to.
come
I
stay.
love it. I love it. And like you get the added benefits of nature. So I do some community
Yeah,
classes here in Asheville, just really for fun, where I teach yoga outside. And it's just like you get the benefit of the breathing, of the moving your body, of
yeah.
sun, of fresh air. And then you also hear all the sounds of nature and just like the energy. So I'm all about like teaching outside is lovely.
I think that's so cool. Now I know goat yoga was a thing for a while. Have you ever been in a goat yoga class? It
I
seems like
have
a very
not.
bad idea to me. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of gimmicky yoga out there. It's just the world we live in right now.
it's- I've seen pictures and I'm like, there's a goat standing on that woman. Like, I don't think I
Uh-huh.
can, like, little
Uh-huh.
hooves, no.
Uh-huh.
We will not have goats here. Sheep, alpacas, and Highland cows and chickens.
Oh,
That'll
very
be it.
nice.
So
Nice.
that'll be good. But all right, so I want to know because it's entrepreneurs gone wild.
hmm
Like, what is your outdoor practice? I always say, I'll preface it with this. I always say we get our very best ideas if we're outside,
Mm-hmm.
not on a screen, not looking, trapped indoors and all this. So I would love to hear, how that has worked for you and
hmm
also how you like once you get those ideas, how do you capture them? Because,
Yes.
as a mom, you now know the secret of life is never believe I'll remember that, right? So,
Yes, yes, yes,
so
yes. Great, great, great question. I'm a huge advocate of going outside. So I teach a lot of stress resiliency, which comes with it's basically like a tool bag. These are things that you can do that will reset your focus. They will help you build your ability to bounce back after a stress response. And stepping outside is one of those things. What do I do personally? If I'm stuck on something, if I've been working on something and I'm not getting anywhere, I'm just making mistakes or I'm just like going in circles and really just getting nowhere, I always go for a walk. And for me, I just go outside. Like I don't go anywhere special necessarily. I will walk around the block or wherever I'm working. I'll just step out and walk around for, I don't know, anywhere. I'd say probably 10 minutes or so is like, I mean, I can get an aha moment within 2 minutes, honestly. But I usually will stay outside for anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes for a walk around the block. Um, Stepping away from your work initially resets you. So when you're stuck on something, just moving to a new environment helps. But if you take it outside, our brain and body work differently outside and we focus on things differently. And it just exacerbates that ability to have that aha moment. What do I do when I have an aha moment? I keep my phone with me, honestly, because I keep a running list on my phone of ideas of things I need to do. Because sometimes I'll also remember other things that I should have been working on that I just like forgot about for the day because I got so wrapped up, in a project or whatever. And so I'll write all of those down and I just keep notes on my phone so that I can open those up. They sync to my computer. So if I'm at my computer, I can pull those up. And every day when I sit down to work, I have a practice of my morning routine, which is to either meditate or state affirmations, then write down my to dos for the day or for the week, or I pull things from the week for what am I doing today. And that just keeps me organized. And those are already on my phone, so I have everything there that I need to work on. But writing it down is helpful too, because
Oh
then you can
yeah.
see it. You don't have to keep pulling up your device.
True. Yeah. I think
But
it's
that's
so funny. Yeah, because it's
yeah.
like I'm like, leave the device, but it does help. Like it's,
hmm
otherwise you're getting, it's hard to walk and physically write. You can
It
voice
is. It
record
is.
yourself and
Yes.
there's ways to get
Yes.
around it, but I love
It
that
is.
so much.
Yeah. And like I love just being outside. So other things that I like to do outside that help me, with that focus is gardening. So planting, whether it's vegetables or just like moving flowers around or like raking, um, just little things, touching the soil. It really helps to recenter and just have those ideas, but I always have my phone just in case to
Yeah. Oh
write down
yeah.
the ideas as they pop into my head.
That's
But
great.
I
Yeah, can't have
meditate
them escape.
outside.
Oh,
Yes.
good. That's wild.
Yeah, a lot of so like my yoga, my movement practice is also outside. We have a nice deck on the front of our home, which was a big, big selling point when we moved 2 years ago, because I love being outside. I love to like have lunch, and it's like a sunny space. So even when it's cooler out, I can still eat out there because it gets the most sun midday. On the weekends, I like to take a longer like movement, exercise, kind of whatever, whether it's weights, whether it's yoga, whatever it is, I always practice outside, weather,
Yeah.
as long as the weather's okay.
Right. Might be hard
But
to do
yep.
yoga in a whole parka thing, like
Yeah. And I'll just like go to like the warmest part of the day if I can and
smart.
just
Yeah.
shift it to, but yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yep.
cool. That is so awesome, man. That's it's an amazing thing what happens. The more I'm learning about, and I'm sure you learned probably a lot of this is, being outside and with the vitamin D stuff coming in and that whole
Hmm.
sense of movement and like forward movement, giving ideas. And I recently interviewed a lady who created a thing called outdoorclassrooms.com. And
Mm,
so she's actually helping schools and school systems to build these outdoor spaces that are used, throughout the whole school year to
yeah.
teach kids this stuff. But so she mentioned that there's a thing called nature deficit disorder. And I was like,
I believe it.
real? Yeah, I believe it too. I was like, it's real. Oh my gosh. But it's been crazy seeing the things that she's experienced is watching kids who, the teacher would be like, normally this kid is really a classroom problem, right? But now that we've
Right.
got this outdoor thing, they're the leader out there. Like they
Hmm.
are like they've stepped into their own. It's just she's getting
That's
these crazy,
beautiful.
amazing results. But I'm thinking same thing probably in corporate, right? They might call it
Oh
something
yeah.
different, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's
For
so
sure.
what kinds of feedback have you gotten from clients who've had you come in and do wellness practice for their companies?
Yeah. Yeah. So a recent one, this was at the end of August. So this was like just prior to the hurricane as well. Um, I did a big group. It was for IHG hotel brands. And so I led a yoga class, and then we had a full workshop for like the whole team on
Oh
stress
wow.
resiliency at work. And I mean, everyone loved it. The main person that I connected with that was inviting me in, they said that they've done some of those practices before, but this was by far their favorite one that they've ever done. So that was really awesome.
That's
And I
amazing.
tailor the class. So if it is a yoga class or a meditation class for a group, it's very case specific. I can bring it into a conference room where we have like the big circle table and everything is standing, maybe some seated meditation. Folks can sit in the chair and practice as well if they have limited mobility.
Sure.
I look at bodies in the room and see where people are struggling and offer suggestions to modify. We're not talking about doing these like pretzel yoga type moves during a yoga for a meeting. A lot of it is accessible to the room and accessible to the folks that are in the room, all ages, all bodies. And it's just really interesting to see folks that might not have moved their body in that way or that might not practice at all, just to see them starting to move and to breathe and to like really focus on the present. It,
Yeah.
it benefits them, but it also benefits the group as a whole. They have that
Oh
shared
yeah.
experience, and so they can talk about it later, whether they're saying, "Oh my gosh, my shoulders are released," or they're like,
Yes.
"Wow, I've never did that before. It was kind of weird, right?"
Yeah.
So there's like the whole gamut of people and what they experience during the yoga class. Team development wise, gotten really good feedback that they were surprised and loved how engaged people were in the group. So a lot of workshops can be one dimensional where there's like a facilitator and everyone else is listening.
Yeah.
I like to make it interactive. So there are opportunities for the team members to interact with one another and to interact with me as a facilitator to really get conversations going, to, kind of give opportunity for everyone to speak, because I know that there are folks that lean more toward watching and listening. And then there's always that person that wants to like talk the whole time. And so, kind of like bridging that gap of everyone has an opportunity to speak up at some point, whether it be in a small group setting where people might feel a little more comfortable, or whether they're sharing from the group at large to, the full group or facilitator.
That's amazing. I mean,
So,
I'm just thinking every company that hires you is so smart because this is one of those like I guess an intangible benefit. I don't know. I mean, it's like a lifestyle
mm-hmm.
benefit, a health benefit that they can really stand out. I could see that this transforming their employees, their team's work experience and building that sense
Yes.
of loyalty and I want to be here. I don't want to miss,
Mm-hmm. For
That's
sure.
that's
For
so
sure.
cool.
And I always do have like a giveaway or a takeaway. So after a workshop or a yoga class or meditation class, there's something that they can take with them. It's a tool, it's a recording of a similar practice that they can try again. It's like a 5 minute breath work, or it's a notebook where they can write in, some of the things that we were working on in the workshop that they can continue to work on as a
Yeah.
team or as an individual, so that it's not just like one and done. They can still continue to practice those well-being practices and reap the benefits in between a meeting or a workshop or class with
Oh,
us.
that's so cool. And then too, it just occurred to me like this is like a normal yoga studio or whatever. You're gonna have, 100 individual for random, 100 individuals come in, they do their thing, they go out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but you actually have like a community that you're
Mm-hmm.
serving like at each
Mm-hmm.
time. And the community dynamic, the group dynamic has got to shift and improve. And that's just got to be so fascinating to watch. Like, in a whole different level of service that you're able to do because like a normal, so you're serving each one and there's a ripple effect, but you're never seeing it because they're
Mm-hmm.
at home or they're at their work or whatever. You get to see like this. Yeah, that's really cool. Like
Yes,
that's a
yes.
huge selling
It's
point. Like,
yeah,
all right,
one
I had some.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, no, no. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, I was just going to share another story from like a
Yeah.
work experience where I was leading a workshop for a sales team. And so they had me come in kind of like towards the end of their like all staff meeting to do a workshop, and then they were going to wrap up and leave. And so I came in, I led the workshop, and then afterward I was cleaning up, and someone raised their hand and they're like, "I have an answer now to that question, that thing that we were working on, that we were stuck on before this yoga meditation like wellness session. Now I have an answer." And so it was really cool to overhear them saying that they were stuck, and
Yeah.
then we had a workshop together, and then now they had clarity. And
Oh,
that's what I do. So like hearing that was awesome.
yes. Oh, that's so cool. I would be so tempted to go, okay, like if you're like doing a longitudinal study with them. All right, so you had this idea after this meditation, and then looking at, because corporate always wants to know what's the bottom line. What did that
Mm-hmm.
idea end up bringing in? How profitable was it?
Yes,
Like, how did it impact
yes.
like
Love that.
they'd have to be measuring stuff. Like you'd have to be on top of it asking for it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's like tangible point at this caused this, right? Like that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right, I had questions that I wanted to ask. If you had any practical mindfulness techniques, if you could share like one maybe that would boost focus and creativity. Is there anything that you can throw out there?
Yeah. So one thing that I practice every day is intentional breathing. So that could be like a pranayama, breathwork practice, whatever you want to call it. There are a ton of breathwork practices. I can share one if you'd like to.
I
We
would
can
love
go through
that.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. One of the ones that it's kind of fun. So I feel like we're being kind of playful here. So we'll do a fun one. It's called the bunny breath. And so you sit tall, and you inhale for 3 short inhales, and then you exhale a long exhale. So it looks like this. So we'll try it together. We'll take inhale,
Okay.
inhale, inhale, exhale, inhale,
That's cute.
inhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, 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 exhale. So that's an energy shifting breath work. It can help you feel more grounded if you're kind of floating. It can also help you feel energized if you're lagging or tired. And you can do like 3 to 5 breaths in a row and then notice how you feel after.
That's cool. That's easy. And you don't have to be all bendy. Like anybody can do it,
Yes.
literally.
Yes. So that's like
Even
a
with a
super
cold.
easy one.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We both
Mm-hmm.
have colds, we still did it. Right? So, that
Exactly.
is so cool. I love that. All right. And then are there stress busting strategies that fit into your busy schedule that you anything that you
hmm
can share?
Yeah. So I think this is something that is unique to each person, so to speak. There's so many ways to help bust your stress or to build that stress resiliency. And the main focus is to notice when you're in a stress response so that you can bounce back to that homeostasis. Like that's where we want to be. We want to be in our parasympathetic nervous system where our systems are working optimally. So that can be anything that shifts your body into that parasympathetic state, such as meditation, a calming breath practice. It could be sitting outside by water, listening to the water, flowing by. Those are some things that can help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, even exercise. Another thing to think about is like your resources. So a lot of us we're go, go, go. We have a lot of demands. We have a lot of things that we're focusing on that we have to get done. So what's something that that helps balance that? What's something that builds you up? You know, maybe it's a nice warm tea or coffee in the morning that just helps set the mood. Maybe it's actually taking your lunch break to do something for you. Go out to eat, connect with a colleague or a friend. And if you don't want to eat during a lunch break, I suggest doing something that you like to do. Maybe you want to sew. Maybe you want to go for a run. Maybe whatever, things that you like. Another stress thing that you can stress buster is laughter. So if you have something that like maybe someone on Instagram that you like to laugh at because they make little comics, or maybe a meme that is funny to you, print it out, have it near your workspace. Really just fake laughter can also work. Like it doesn't have to be real laughter. You can just be like
It would
and the
work.
more you do it, it
That's funny.
actually works. It's really funny.
It'd
So
probably get
what
you
I
cracking up for
suggest,
real too.
exactly, because you're like
So,
laughing at nothing and then you laugh at yourself for laughing.
right.
So those are just like a few little tidbits. So what I say is find things that serve you, find something that works for you, whether that's getting up and moving, whether that's doing something calming, like making a tea, whether that is laughing, watching something, listening to a skit. And really,
Yeah.
I do any and all of those things, to be honest. And I think it's really about practicing those things on a regular basis. When you notice you're going to have a stressful day because of what has to be done, make sure that you make time to do something that serves you, that helps with your stress response, and to do something after you feel stressed. What are you going to do to bring yourself back? Think about that. Nice warm
We don't
shower
do
or
that too
bath.
much, do we?
Right. Like
We just kind of
decompressing
like
is
rub
really
dirt in it and
important.
keep going. Right? You're fine. You're
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. So I just invite
That's
people to
so
pick
cool.
one tool, one of those things that I mentioned, or maybe something else that's come up for you, and do that every day, even if just for 5 minutes.
That's fantastic. All right, where are you growing next in your business? What are you looking forward
Yeah.
to in 2025, and how's that going?
Yes. So a cool thing that I just kind of I guess, fell into this past year is doing more speaking opportunities. So getting on the stage, talking to people, larger groups. And that's really where I see my company growing and myself growing is to offer more workshops, more keynotes, more speaking opportunities at conferences, at big events, and just sharing some of the wellness tools, sharing stories from my own life, whether it's personal life or work life, to just help folks live better, like live well. And so speaking is kind of like this new door that's opening for me. And it's just an expansion of the fact that I've been speaking as a yoga instructor since 2011. I've been in front of people speaking.
Yeah.
And it's evolved into offering workshops and team development, interactive activities, to now like seeing it more like on stage. Some of it's interactive, some of it is like quick little things like movement breaks, and some of it is like longer keynote type opportunities. So that's where I'm growing and evolving. And then it feels good to open the door to new networks too, folks that would be
Yeah.
interested in having some corporate services as well. So.
That is so, so cool. And most people are terrified of doing public speaking, right? And
It's
so the
scary.
common thing is, well, picture your whole audience naked. But you kind of went to, I mean, not that you were naked. I am not saying she was naked. I'm saying, like, when you started and you were speaking as a yoga, like it's not like you're buttoned up in a suit and all this. And so it was kind
Hmm.
of reverse. If you can get used to talking, like that, this is so great. And it's such a powerful thing because people get to like, they get your vibe, they're like,
Hmm.
I really like her. I want to work with her. I want her to come do this for my company. Like, it's such a powerful thing. So that is so
Yeah,
cool.
thank
What would you
you.
say is yeah, oh no, that's awesome. How do you like, is your company, is Yogana as big as you want it to be? Are you looking to scale it? Is it like,
Hmm.
how do you want that to go?
Yeah, so honestly, locally, we took a big hit with Hurricane Helene. So
Yeah.
that was a setback and just unexpected and sad. But
Yes.
my company is definitely, we're open. We are expanding. I want to continue to grow my network and reach other organizations, entrepreneurs, management, in other areas besides just Western North Carolina and North Carolina in general. So this is kind of an opportunity for me to expand in ways that I had been thinking about expanding, and just shifted my mind on, doing more of the speaking, like I said, and just continuing to grow Yoga Nut into a larger operation. So it's, yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
definitely
that's great.
space for growth and preparation for growth. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And the speaking, I could totally see that. Like, that's a huge, huge, a lot of people are not willing to do it. And
Hmm.
sometimes when we're willing to do the stuff nobody else is up for, it pays off. And that's like, that's fantastic. Are there things
Yeah.
as you look at, like, all right, I want to grow this? Are there things that you're like, oh, I, this looks hard, or I want to try this, but I don't know how? Or are there eh,
Uh,
like magic wand type things? If somebody built me a whatever, like like that.
Yeah, I think marketing is always a challenge, meeting the right people, getting into the right spaces. I don't know about magic wand. I think that everything that I do just, it propels me to something else that's happening and that will happen that you can't foresee, and that things are moving in the direction of an intention, and so that's good. But no, like as far as like magic wand, what that would look like, it's kind of you know,
Well,
just, yeah,
so
meeting.
sometimes people will say, like, if I had
Mm,
a lead generation machine, like magic wand, boom, there it
mm-hmm.
is. And I don't have to mess with it. They're coming to me, they're getting
Oh,
nurtured.
yeah.
Next thing I know, we're talking, they're loving me, they already know me, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and working business to business is a slower process than like business to
Yes.
customer. And so I didn't know that going into starting my business because the businesses that I worked for were business to customer. And
Yeah.
so that looked a lot different.
Yeah.
And so I think that the years that I have been in business, a lot of it is kind of relearning how to market and how to attract businesses because they are people and they are a board, but it's different and
Yeah.
it's a longer sales process, especially when it's something that's an ongoing. So like the worksite wellness program is a
Yeah.
longer lead time, a longer sales process than you're looking for. And you're doing an event, you work for a company, you want some sort of service, so you reach out and it's like a quicker
Yeah.
return.
Oh, sure. One and
So those are
done.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
love those. And honestly, starting out, I really wanted to do a lot of programs and like nurture companies over time because I feel like that's where they're going to get the most benefit. And I still
Yeah.
like doing that and I still want to do that. So if I had a magic wand, I would want some sort of generator for that to like jump some of those hoops to, all right, now we're
Yeah.
working together. But on the other hand, I also really enjoy the event industry and like retreats and like resetting people, whether I'm working with an entrepreneurial group and I'm saying like, here, let's like reset ourselves, let's grab some tools that we can take back to our individual lives and to our individual companies. Like that's awesome. Or I'm working with a company as a whole and they're learning together, they're breathing together, they're moving together, and then they go back to their space and they're able to use those tools at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, just connecting with those areas is super fun.
That's so great. Well, I just look at this. It's like the future looks really bright, I think, for mind yoga.
Thank
Because
you.
I mean, yoga nut, because it's like you have so many ways that you love and are able to serve people. You've got, ways that like you love speaking. This is fantastic. I can't stress enough how fantastic that is for your business. Because there are many who are like, oh, no way. Like, and then being able to, do the events, being able to do the long-term programs, you have that understanding of what it takes. Like a long-term program, somebody's got to write this proposal, it's got to go for a board, it's got to get the
Hmm.
funding, it's got to get all
Hmm.
these sign-offs, and oh my gosh, like it's a thing, right? Even if they decide,
For sure.
yes, we want you, it could still take 6 months before they're actually
Hmm.
doing anything.
Hmm.
And
For
then
sure.
you've understood like the difference on how they pay, like they're like not even dollar amounts, but the way that they pay it. It's like, well, net 30. Oh, okay, or whatever. And so to have that and to have the local physical presence, I mean, this is really cool. You've built something that really has legs, and that's
Thank
really, really
you.
cool. It's awesome.
Thank
All right,
you.
where can people find out more about you and having you, especially, work with their companies and their organizations?
Yeah. My website is where you'll find a lot of information. So that's yoga with a hyphen nut.com. I'm also on Instagram, yoga underscore nut underscore wellness. And Facebook's Yoga Nut Wellness as well. And I'm on LinkedIn, Lindsay Coward. So you can find a lot of information about me personally and my company on any of those
That's
websites.
so
Yep.
great. That is
Oh, and
fantastic.
email, honestly, like just email me. It's Yogi, I'll just spell it out. It's YOGILINDSAY, the letter C, at gmail.com. And that's the best way to just connect. If you have questions, if you just want to chat, meet for coffee, etc., that's where you'll reach me.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. Don't go away. I'm going to
Mhm.
kill the live. But
All
guys, this
right.
is really cool. Go do a bunny breathing. It's fun.
Yes, yes. Thank you.